Welcome to my Mark II Factory 5 build. This is going to be part 8. Last time we took the wiring harness out and cleaned up the car by pressure washing it and put the engine in place. I've done quite a bit of work since then. I know it's been 3 months, but this is Texas. It's been very hot, and so I didn't get much work done in the past 3 months, but we did get ahead, and let me show you where we're at. So this is where we're at now. I've got the battery where it's going to go. Still need to rivet the panel underneath it, but I figured I would wait until we get all the harness wired up before I did that. Had the drive shaft made. It's very short. Let's see if I have a tape measure around here somewhere. Or hang on. Here we go. So it's what 15 inches total length, and that includes the yoke. I tried to use this air conditioner to cool down the shop while I was working in the heat in July and August, but it really didn't cool the shop much. It actually wasn't worth it, so didn't get much done, let me tell you. I had to redo the dash, and the reason why, and I've said this before, the point of this build is to keep it simple. We want a functioning car. I'm gonna have heat and windshield wipers, and that's it. So I went to wire the switches that I showed you previously, and they required relays. They couldn't handle the load, so it would have had to been somewhere around 7 relays that I would have had to add to the system to get that functioning. And so the way I've got it wired now is this is running lamps, and then low beams and high beams. And then I was going to use this switch for blinkers and horn and all that. But again, I decided against it because this couldn't handle the load either. So I would have had to have even more relays. So what I've done is went with the old tried and true method. And I've got, these are blinkers here. Hazards are back there somewhere, and I'll add a horn button. That should be simple. And that should all be hidden underneath. And I also got the kit that goes under the dash. So it's one complete panel under the dash. And then there's another piece that strengthens the firewall that goes right in this area. I felt like it was a little flimsy once I started messing around with the dash. And there will be a windshield wiper and a heater mounted in this area. So I figured that would be something that was necessary. So I put the wiring harness back in place, and I actually had all the lights functioning. Only one problem: the brake lights would stay on. And it took me a little while to figure it out, but basically this is the brake light switch, and there's a rod that goes in here that comes from the booster, and that rod's dimensions are incorrect. And so I'll either have to replace that rod, or, as I plan on doing, just take the booster off and modify the rod so that it's correct. I've got the radio mocked up for now. It's just kind of on there with some zip ties. I'll finish that up once I get the hoses in place. As you see, I've got the blinkers here. I've got a headlight down there, and again, Everything works, but I have the ignition switch disconnected at the moment, so I can't show you. Of course, I have to fix the brake lights too. But so here's the engine, and the engine itself is ready to fire up. It's plumbed, it's wired. The fuel lines are connected, as you can see. I've got quick disconnect going into fuel hose, and then that goes down there into the fuel lines that I had run previously. But it's all buttoned up. There's the coil on that side, and as you can see, all the wiring is in place. The injectors are in place, and that wiring runs through there and into here, and I'll probably end up mounting the computer right around here. And there's the computer there, and there's the fuse panel that comes with that Ford Motor Company wiring. It's supposed to be standalone, and it's pretty neat. I've liked it so far. There's the fan and the shroud that'll, of course, be mounted to the radiator when I get to that point. And here's the exhaust. And again, the point of the build is to keep it simple. My plan is to build the car as simple as possible, and then if I want to modify it, do that in the future. So I'll be painting this exhaust, and then I'll be wrapping it to hopefully keep people from burning themselves. But as you can see, this is where we're at now. Moving along, not as fast as I would hope, but we're getting there. The one thing I've learned building this car is to be patient. There's a few things that I've had to redo, like for example the dash that I had to redo just recently, and the brake booster that I'm gonna have to pull out and modify to get it to work. But it's been a fun journey, and I'm excited to get it running pretty soon. So hopefully next video, it'll be a running car with functioning lights.